Ladies and gentlemen, dear colleagues, old friends, it is my pleasure to address you today in this new edition of the EuCNC and 6G Summit. As you may know, I was recently appointed Director in charge of future networks in the European Commission, and unfortunately, due to previous commitments, I could not come this year in person. My colleagues from DG Connect are present today and through the conference, and they will be able to interact with the many participants. But I am really very honored in my capacity of General Chair of the conference to give you a few introductory words. EuCNC, as you know, is an important and well-established conference. I participated myself several times to this conference in the past when I was in charge of the 5G public-private partnership from the European Commission side, and I can testify that it is a key conference for our European research ecosystem. So I really would like to congratulate the organizers for the great work they have done once more this year. But let me also share some views on advanced connectivity and its role in the future for European competitiveness and sovereignty. First, let me start by saying some words about the international context. We cannot ignore it these days, and it presents some major challenges. Security challenges with tensions between global powers, rise of multipolarity, and a conflict on our own continent. Secondly, economic security challenges, including risks for technology, risks for energy supply chains, tariffs, sanctions. The world we live in is unpredictable, and that is related also to rising gaps in industrial competitiveness and in technology advances. As the US and Asia forge ahead in critical technologies such as AI, robotics, quantum, connectivity and 6G, electronic vehicles and microelectronics, we need to keep up. Thirdly, the EU is facing specific challenges relating to our own digital infrastructures. Deployment is too slow. We have fragmented markets nationally. Investment is not sufficient, and we are not developing enough skilled workers. We witness dependency in our technologies in digital sector on cloud, on microelectronics, as well as difficulties in stimulating demand for advanced connectivity services. So let's face it, Europe today is behind some of its trading partners in some of these critical technologies, but there are also areas of hope and expertise and exceptions like in connectivity, where there are still European industrial champions in 5G and tomorrow in 6G technologies. But here as well we can see risks, and we cannot be complacent. This is why looking at the technology and market landscape, this is why looking at connectivity, we can already identify trends and priorities. We see that digital technologies are more than ever crucial for innovation, for productivity in all sectors of our economy. And at the end of the day, they are critical for competitiveness. So what we need is state-of-the-art connectivity in our continent. We need it as a key enabler for all digital technologies such as cloud and AI. So when we say we want to make Europe the AI continent, we actually are saying that we want the utmost connectivity to feed the explosion of data, and we need more processing, transmission, and storage resources. We see new business models and entirely new markets emerging from these technological developments. We see new opportunities for the app economy, for the Internet of Things, for data analytics, for AI, and new forms of content delivery. So all this means that we need to prioritize some of these developments and, for instance, virtualization, cloudification technologies, they are already happening, and they bring a paradigm shift by decoupling the physical layer from the control plane in a massive way. I don't need to explain this to you very much because you know it, and you see that the telco edge cloud convergence paradigm and the disruptive trends in openness, in AI, in the disaggregation and in the softwareization of networks will be challenges to the way we have developed connectivity architectures in the past. This is a challenge, of course, for communication service providers, but of course it is also an opportunity. It is up to us to invent this future and to make good business out of it. So the European Commission is there also, and we are ready to accompany this evolution through our funding support, but also through our legislative initiatives. So very soon, the Commission, by the end of this year, early next year, we will propose an EU and Cloud and AI Development Act. We call it the CADA or CAIDA. It aims at mobilizing public and private efforts so that leadership in AI development is attained, because we have also the cloud infrastructure that is needed. But this is also an opportunity for the telecom sector, because we will integrate connectivity with cloud and with AI factories. And we are also preparing a Digital Networks Act to adapt our regulatory framework to these emerging needs and to the opportunities of 6G and cloud-native networks. So indeed, 6G development is instrumental for maintaining EU's competitiveness in the global tech landscape, and also to achieve our digital decade targets for 2030 in terms of gigabit coverage, and of course to support overall our digital sovereignty. From the Commission, we see 6G as a game changer, but it also requires efforts and also changes in the way we look at business opportunities. We still need substantial research efforts. We've done a lot, but we need more in fields such as radio interface, resilience and security, AI and automation, but also openness, softwareization, to name a few. We also need to develop successful global standards, and also to make sure that our industry is still leading in this process. Third, we need pre-deployment trials and pilots, and later deployment support. And of course, we need spectrum allocation. We can learn also from our experience in 5G, where we try to do this, but so far the monetization of 5G standalone is not strong enough. And this is something I really want to change in the coming years in the EU. In fact, our smart networks and services joint undertakings is really there to help, and it is the EU's key instrument to bring together the key stakeholders to develop these RNI 6G technologies, but also the test beds we need, and very importantly, the standards for 6G. It has a key role to play in addressing the telco cloud convergence, and so far we have already very good results. So thanks to all of you that have contributed, and congratulations already to the SNSJU for its achievements so far. And we have seen that in the Horizon Europe midterm evaluation. So now it is time to look forward, to draw indeed the lessons from the 5G experience, as far as the technology development, but also the technology uptake is concerned. We believe that 5G in Europe remains today an incompletely fulfilled promise. We have had this vision for some time, and notably regarding the vertical usages and 5G standalone deployment. More can be done in Europe. More money can be done in Europe on the basis of the new services. So we need to make sure that for 6G, we do not repeat the same pattern where we have great technology, but it is first deployed elsewhere than in Europe. We need to make sure that we align supply and demand, and that we can monetize these 6G deployments and build business models that will have the revenues we need to invest in deployment. This needs to be thought through from day one. So really a lot of opportunities ahead of us. I hope that you will have many discussions in this conference. And very soon we are preparing the start of a new European budget as of 2028. This will coincide with 6G maturing and being close to deployment. So a priority will be for us to support the take-up of 6G, the support of telco edge cloud and of AI technologies through trials and pilots. I'm really proud of Europe's achievements in connectivity technologies so far, but I think that we should, above all, be aware of these challenges and make sure that we collectively address them. And that's why this conference is important. It comes at the perfect time. So really feed our inputs, make sure that you showcase your developments, that you talk to each other, and that we together come up with a great formula. So let me conclude with a special thanks for the organizers and especially to Poznan University this year, to all the patrons, the sponsors, and the participants for their commitment and support. And I hope to see you soon in the next EuCNC, but even before that. Many thanks for your attention.